I am. Hey, y'all. Hey, and welcome to Tootie Talk Sense. I am still trying to get this camera set up. I was here, when was it? It's Sunday about 11 o'clock. I had came in, y'all, and tried to go live. Computer froze up. I was supposed to do the Jada talk and everything. Look at it. Let me change my cameras. Is that better? Okay. I didn't end up just going live. Didn't have none set up. But when I came and I tried to I did the Sergio Brown update. And for y'all, that's the last video that I posted. Now, after I finish talking, I'm going to tell y'all to go ahead. And I think it's probably about 29 minutes through. My stuff froze. Wasn't able to cut off the live. The live just kept going, y'all. So anyway, go watch that previous video, that Sergio Brown update, that he was arrested for unaliving his mother in the western suburbs of Chicago and Maywood. That was in September that they found the mother a couple of blocks from her back door. And they just now finding him because he was in Mexico. He tried to come on back like ain't nothing happened, like he was gone a couple of weeks, and then like, okay, they forgot about it by now. I don't see it on the news and TikTok and stuff. And he tried to come on back and they arrested him. But then also there's an update for the Carly Lee Russell, and she was found guilty and she appealing her sentence. So my previous video is about that. Now I was supposed to talk about Will and Jada. That video wasn't able to, so this is this episode. As y'all all know, Jada's on the pretty much promo run for her book that she dropped the 17th, so yesterday. So she's been doing interviews and everybody's tearing her apart on this internet, right? And my thing is that I was like, I may not know everything that then transpired, but I don't get the Jada hate. So I don't get what's going on here, because at first it was, the entanglement, of course, was hilarious. He said, Jada, what happened? I had an entanglement. He said, what? And entangle what? So then, they came with the memes of Will crying. So it would look like he was finna cry. His ass was red or something. He probably had that eye at school. But um, so those memes made the rounds, right? And then everybody was like, "Oh, she embarrassed him," and even when he slapped Chris Rock, they said that was Jada's fault because she rolled her eyes, and then she, sent her telepathic, I don't know, Star Wars Jedi mind trick and made Will go up there and slap that man because he was still trying to prove that he's more than Tupac, because she's always talking about Tupac. I was like, this is so, it's so crazy to me. So I'm like, I want to come on here because maybe people know more than what I know. Okay. I want to come on here to see exactly what it was and what I'm missing. So I'm going to go through some things in the Red Table Talk video, and just to tell y'all what I get from it, because I don't really get, because what I have been saying is that I don't see it, of course, in a marriage, both people have a part to play, but it does not seem like Jada was a bad person, a bad wife, and it seems as if she was. I feel like Will was part of the problem. I feel like he's a bigger part of the problem only because, and everybody think for the woman, and I am. Yes, I am pro woman, but I know how to call it when a woman do something wrong. I'm like, people must know more than what I know. But from looking at these interviews and from previously, I remember watching the Red Table Talk previously, I haven't heard the kids say anything about Jada being a bad mom but I specifically remember Willow saying that she had to tell her dad that, oh, I'm sorry that this is not the family you want. And I think she was, that we're not the family that you have pictured in your mind. And I think she said she was like 9. For a 9-year-old to clearly see that and say that there was something going on in that house and it revolved around Will. So I don't know how Jada got blamed for this slap, that he walked his grown self on that stage and did. I was like, so let me put this video out, see if y'all could see what I see. And then also, y'all tell me what it is that y'all see from Jada that I'm not saying. Because obviously, I'm missing something. But the whole internet be tearing this lady down for her doing what most celebrities have done, what Will have done. He got a book. He told about his life. Chris Rock got a book. He told about his life. Like they can talk about incidents that didn't happen in their life. They can talk about the slap, but she can't. Like I don't understand what the double standard is with women, or what's such the hate. Is it just Jada? Because the same thing to been done to Meg when she got shot in the foot. I know all you Tory Lane supporters gonna be on my page talking crap. He didn't shoot her. Her friend shot her. So anyway, when she got shot in the foot, and she went and tried to lie so he wouldn't get arrested, it was used against her. Was she a liar? Because she said it was glass. So we're just gonna overlook the fact that this woman tried to lie to keep this bitch out of jail, but gonna call her a liar instead. So she's just a liar. All the hate and everything she got when she was the victim of a crime, regardless of who y'all think did it, she was a victim of a crime. He was proven guilty. Get over it. So, it just seems like a lot of backlash or double standard or hate that is shown to women that is not equally shown to a man. So when Jada came out, of course, all this talk started because of the book promo that she's doing. She came out and she said that her and Will haven't been together since 2016, 2017, whatever. They haven't been together for the 7 years. So then people doing the math that when she had her entanglement, that's still funny. When she had, I'm drinking out my daughter cup. When she had her entanglement with August, that they wasn't together. They were separated. And then they adding together that does make sense because remember August went and did that interview where said Will gave him permission. So then they came out on the red table talk that's when her word entanglement came up. And everybody like, did she just sat there and lied to our faces? And I said, well, I mean, it was an interview of Jada and Will. So how she just sat there and lied to y'all face? She wasn't the one with the tears in her eyes. She said I was like, now does it make sense? Because the thing was, look how she don't even care the way she didn't care because they wasn't together. And that's probably the bravado that y'all seen when she said that, yeah, we had entanglement. Like nobody like you don't know we ain't together. Like that's the yeah, it happened, it did it end. Because Will says in there, and when I went back and watched the interview, I see they said in there that they wasn't together. Now everybody like they didn't lie to us, and all they said it. Like, we're just looking over stuff just to have something to try to tear this woman down about. Y'all, let's go. I want to talk about first. I want to go through the interview that they did. His first interview that he did was actually in June. That other interview with him and Jada was with the August. So when they did the interview in June, yeah, they didn't say they wasn't together. That was I think it was a Father's Day special. So hopefully, I didn't even check the value. Hopefully, but I'm gonna put that on for y'all. Hopefully the volume will play. Hopefully I won't have no internet trouble. But y'all, don't forget to go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the all button so you can get notifications for when I go live. Go ahead and be in these comments because I do comment back, okay? Let me check this value. There you go. Check the volume, make sure my volume is good before I go to the Facebook video to show y'all the Facebook video. So I done took some notes on the things that I feel like is overlooked for Will, but we're coming so hard on Jada. And I hope y'all ain't hearing my echo. Okay. Is it this one? Yeah. So this is the Father's Day episode. And make sure y'all can see. Yeah, this is the Father's Day episode. Make sure this volume is up. Cause I ain't got much time. I have to get in here and get out. Now look how this Father's Day episode started off. So she started off asking what time is it, and then she like, oh, he's a minute late. And I'm like, that right there, Jada, that's a little anal. 1 minute, really? I said, but it let you know that they weren't living together. This stuff is shot at her house. You mean have he came yet? It's like they ain't know where they was at, but that is a very big house. I do give them like it's probably a very big house. You probably don't know who in there, when, and where. And Jada had said in the previous interview, he'll live at one wing of the house and I'll live at the other, but we ain't to get the divorce. So then they sitting on opposite sides of the couch, right? And I want y'all to catch that the cameraman has to say, camera person, I think y'all don't remember if it's a man or woman, y'all about to see it, had to say, can y'all get a little closer together? I said, nobody picked up on this. They wasn't together.
What time does your phone say?
To 1:01.
He's a minute late.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We got to sort out more lights on that stuff. All right, so I put it in my pocket in there. Mic check. Can you hear me? Why you got your clipboard?
Yeah, how about that? This will be the last time I'll be able to sit in front of you with a clipboard.
And you guys sit a little closer together.
I'm trying to give you room for your damn clipboard.
You look very handsome.
Just made it a joke. Even the person like, can y'all sit a little closer together? Act like they like each other. I said, then that happened. So then around 15 minutes, he said, just because a man might not be a great husband, that doesn't mean he's not a great father. So I'm like, it gives me the feeling that Jada feels like that he's haven't been great to her. Now, whatever reason that may be, that they didn't go into details of why he's not a great husband. But I said my grandma have always said that about my granddaddy, because granddaddy Red, he was he was a Rolling Stone. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Yeah, but and she will always say that I stayed with him until my kids turned 18. Then I knew I was leaving the moment they turned 18. And she did. She was gone. Okay, gone. But never came back. But I like the women, they will tell you. And that actually is a thing, because she always said he was a great father. He said he was just a shitty. He was not a good husband, staying out in them streets. She said, but as a father to my mama and my uncle, my grandma only had the 2 kids. So he was a phenomenal father. Now my granddaddy, he had outside kids. I don't know what type of father he was to them. Don't ask me, y'all. That ain't my life. Okay, I can talk about my life. But to his 2 kids that he had with my grandma, I know he was a phenomenal father. My mama was a mama's girl, okay? She was always my daddy. And he would come up here from Mississippi, because he lived in Greenwood. He would come up here from Mississippi, and he'd work on her house. And, she was his only girl. And he was great to his kids. We came down there, and it was a lot of us. And my uncle was seeing his kids down there. And granddad kept all the grandkids. But I'll tell you something, okay? At one point, my cousins moved in with him. So I was like, granddaddy, he was a great granddad, but and a great father. But my grandma was like, he wasn't no good husband, all right. So I'm like, they touch on that, which makes me think there was things going on in that marriage that involves Will. But she still feel like he's a great father. She ain't down on him. Let me go to that part so y'all can hear it.
And the idea being that just because a man might not be the best husband,
doesn't mean he's not a good father.
Yeah.
With Cherie and with Trey, that was a really difficult time. Love you. They love you.
Love me.
Divorce was the worst thing that, in my adult life.
Yeah.
Divorce was the ultimate failure for me.
Yeah.
I've been hurt a lot in my adult life, but I don't think anything touches the failure of getting divorced from my 2-year-old son's mother.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm like, but the internet is still out here like, oh, well, I done heard people say they didn't have a prenup. So that's why they ain't getting the. That's why Jada ain't divorcing because they didn't have a prenup. I'm like, so we don't think that it's Will the one who don't want a divorce. If it's the ultimate failure for Will, and Jada have said she never seen herself getting married, never even thought that wasn't what she wanted to do. But it's the ultimate failure for Will. We gonna blame Jada that they haven't got a divorce. If they don't have a prenup, that helps her. And the longer they stay together, the more money she gonna get. So it would benefit Will to go ahead and get a divorce, but they're not getting a divorce probably because Will says it's the ultimate failure from him. So then he goes into saying about with his first wife, he got the divorce. He grew up with his father being his mother, and he would never do that. And then he goes into, let me go see, get the 18 mark, because I just want to highlight certain things.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. One of the things with you and I that worked well is you didn't demand that I do it the way you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't demand that you do it the way I wanted you to do it.
Right.
Now, sometimes we had to just leave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So right there, talking about parenting, that they don't demand that each other do it, because some y'all know who, especially with y'all who have kids out there, not both parents the same way. So they were saying is that she will do it one way, Will would do it one way, but they wouldn't expect for each other to do it their way, and sometimes they would just leave. And you see how they both left, like, yeah, because that's what we did now. So Jada said she used to be very angry about Karate Kid experience. Now, Karate Kid started filming in 2009. So remember, they got separated, 8 years later? I want to say 2016, 17. I can't remember the exact year. But then they got separated years after that. But she said it was a pivotal part. She didn't agree with the way that Will did make Jaden do Karate Kid, because she's a woman and she felt like it was too tough, too much work, the exercises and things that he had to do. She just felt like it was a brutal experience, and so she didn't agree with it. So she said she was very angry and they did not get along well during that time. Let me go back on here and check. But she said it was a pivotal part of making Jaden the man that she is. So I like it. It does seem like she takes responsibility. Like, yeah, I didn't agree with it, but at the same time, she was wrong. It actually made him a better man. So Will says he knows how to in there. Then they continue on. Will says he knows how to suffering, and that he believed that suffering is like a part of life, is something that needs to be done. So Jada said, I believe that the key difference between a mother and father is a mother wants to protect you from suffering, and a father teaches you how to find your strength through applied suffering. So then I said, in this part, he's going to say how he would rather die than to divert from a plan. I said, and so when somebody says something like that to me, and I'm not a psychologist, I don't have my degree in psychology, but to me, it gives a sense of that's a very stubborn person that want things their way, and that in a person that way, it's very difficult to be with when you're not adjusting. Let's see. Let me let y'all hit that really quick.
Hard work. You write the plan and you die versus not sticking to the plan. It's really simple.
It's a very y'all go. This whole interview it's 28 minutes. It's still up on the Facebook Red Table Talk page. I'm just going to certain parts that it seems like Will is a very person stuck in his ways, and that causes problems in relationships. So I'm like, I don't understand like why every time Jada say something that people want to jump down her throat instead of listening to the interviews and listening that both people have parts to play. And it seems like Will is the very difficult person to get along with in a relationship. Even his kids have been like, no, I don't want to do that, and he's making them doing it. with the Jada with the hair, and that's why she ended up cutting her hair. It's an episode on Red Tape talk about that too, yeah. But they're just coming down on Jada. I said, why is everybody? Are we not gonna point out this stuff? So let's continue on, yeah. And as I said, right in the comments, the reason that y'all feel like that she's the issue of things that y'all have seen that I haven't seen, because I'm not gonna say that I'm the expert and I'm not well versed on everything that didn't happen and every tweet that had been played out. It is a article that I'll probably copy and put in there that show their timeline, the relationship timeline, baby. But I'm like, that's just too much.
How much I was making and forcing and pushing the things that I wanted.
Right.
And in that moment, I just saw it was starting to hurt her. My desire for her was overriding her desire for her.
Yeah, right.
And I had a real epiphany on that, and how bad a person will hate you if you keep forcing your wishes onto their life.
So true.
And I stopped in the middle of it before I broke her.
Right.
And I was like, baby, I think I understand. I got it. You know, she introduced me. It feels so weird when I say this. She introduced me to feelings.
Yeah.
Because I don't care how I feel.
Right.
So if I don't care how I feel, I damn sure don't care how you feel.
Right.
We got to achieve the mission. We need a #1 record.
You see? So he said that it seems like he has a habit of pushing what he wants on people. So he said he was pushing the things he wanted to hurt his daughter when she cut off his hair. When he said his daughter introduced him to feelings, mind you, this is his second marriage. Willow at that point is, I think 19 years old, something like that. That Willow is. So you're just now being introduced to feelings. So because he, if you know about Will life in certain interviews I have watched, he was saying his dad was a military dad and things of that nature. The domestic abuse in the house and hitting the mom. So they didn't show feelings. But this is your second marriage and your third kid, and you're just not being introduced to feelings. Yeah, I don't think that causes conflict in a relationship. If your person is over there pointing out their heart, telling you what they need from you, and you just like, no, this is what I want to do. This is the way I see it set up. And it takes your daughter. You've been, and thank God, that you have the daughter. You open up your heart and you receive what she was saying. But do you not think that was difficult? Well, the first wife left, and the second wife, they didn't split in things. You don't think that was difficult to be with a person who don't care about your feelings? And he said, I don't care how you feel. He don't care about his own feelings. So how can we care about yours? He said, if I don't care how I feel, you damn sure know I don't care about how you feel. But yet we still believe in that Jada is the problem. Okay. So in his interview, he's going through, because this is the Father's Day interview. So he talked about first with his son and how that was very difficult. His first son, Trey, with his first wife, and how he was playing football and he was really happy. He was there for all the games and things of that nature. But then when Trey decided that he didn't want to play football, it was very difficult time for Will to accept that what his son did not want to do. And then it was with Jayden. And now he's talking about his, I don't think he did Jayden yet. This is his relationship with Willow and how he's forcing things on her to do that she did not want to do. And, it made him realize and open his eyes to feelings and everything dealing with his daughter. But in each relationship that he talked about, his problem would be with how he had things set up in his head and how he wanted that he's going to force it on other people. And it messed up those relationships. So let's go to 33.
It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Until it's finished.
Yep.
And what I decided on After Earth was I'm not going to have a single moment where I push him or pound on him. I was going to be a loving father. And then the movie didn't work.
Right.
And I was like, that's what happens when you give a damn how people feel. You can't win. It's like you either have a beautiful, loving relationship or you succeed in the world.
How old was Jaden then? Was he
14, I think. Yeah. So
yeah. So that's the mindset that he had for the way that he lived. Like you don't care. Y'all know, y'all been around people who don't care about what you say, what you do. You know, the people who have that mentality that it's all about them. You know what? I know the best for you. Don't even worry about it. That's very downing for people. It's very make you feel like you're not a person. That can mess up your self-esteem or your self-worth. And Jada book title is Worthy, but you know, and yes, the person may be come from a good place because they feel like, oh well, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm talking about, I'm doing what's best for you, but not having you have any insight into what goes on. I know you kids probably feel the same way. And probably feel like, oh, that's what y'all parents be doing. But we ain't talking about that right now. Oh, my daughter watching like, mama, people who think they know what's best for you.
I was furious.
I remember.
Because I know how to win.
Right.
If everybody just do what I say, we gonna win.
Right.
Worried about y'all feelings.
Right.
No, but
yeah, you know. So if everybody just do what I say, we're gonna win. So I'm like, okay, so we didn't have this interview, but somehow Jada is the toxic person who's this demasculating Will. How? So I agree with his he ended up giving his father advice. I agree with his father advice that fathers should take care of their kids and mothers have to let fathers be fathers in spite of their imperfections. So this interview pretty much ends. They give each other a hug. First time they like really close to each other and everything. I was like, oh, you can tell, like when you go back and look at it, you're like, yeah, you can probably tell there was some.
A great father.
Aw, baby. Thank you, baby.
And that's why I said, I noticed you never said he was a great husband, just a great father.
It's really, you know, even as the kids are older, you know, and you've been such a great partner.
Mm.
I really appreciate the parenting partnership.
Mm-hmm.
He cleared that real up. He was a great partner for parenting.
I think
Great
there's no rules. Everybody wants rules.
Yeah.
So I said, then that's all I wanted to go through with that Father's Day. Things where you show different behaviors that could have affected a relationship where everybody's just pouring in on Jada. And I'm like, you know, Will had his part to play up in this too. How do you think things work? That Jada was just, Jada's just emasculating that man, and Jada just, yeah. Really? So we ain't gonna talk about that death. We're gonna talk about some Jada. And even this, I seen that today. I'm gonna see. I see if I have time to go over that one today. That interview with the white girl, and everybody on TikTok is just, yeah, she showed receipts. She did not. But so let's talk about this Jada. So I want to know, why isn't Jada allowed to tell her life story? People saying, here go Jada giving us information that we didn't ask for. Besides her table talks, which honestly, when she's trending, it's typically not about her table talk. She's trending for like an interview that she did. And in an interview, you're being asked questions. So people, here go Jada giving her information that we didn't ask for. Well, in the interview, somebody asked for it. They asked a question. She answered with the question, and then why she keep talking? Like, I feel like there's a whole shut up and dribble Like, even though I know Shut Up and Dribble was about politics, that was more of a race thing. But it feels like it's the whole thing, like that you're telling a woman that your story is not important. Why do you keep talking? Get in that kitchen and make dinner. That's what it feels like. Like what? And and I will say, but yes, there's a lot of black men who's doing it, but there's a bunch of black women who doing it too. It's just everybody just piling in over on Jada, and I'm looking like I don't honestly see what this lady did to offend everyone. But like I said, put it in the comments. Let me know. Okay. Jada's embarrassed herself. Will is akin to Russell Wilson and Michael B. Jordan. We see them as great fathers, but who they want as husbands, NBA young boy, future Tupac. Oh, I don't know nothing about that. We don't want Jada to stop telling her story. It's offensive. If her story is offensive and embarrassing to who? She's telling a story about how she didn't feel well. Her book. It's about how she didn't feel worthy. The journey that she took to find her self-worth. How she worked about depression. How she worked her way out of depression. How she's learning her voice, learning to stand up for herself, learning to say no. But she needs to what? It's offensive and embarrassing. I haven't seen anything that she did offensive to Will. How did she embarrass Will? Now, August did. August embarrassed the both of them by coming out and telling about it. But we found out that they were separated. And everybody didn't seen on the before when this August thing came out. Everybody had already said before that Will was out. Will was out doing. Will have admitted to been out doing his thing. Will have put it in his book. That was all pictures floating on Will with that have a traveling partner, this female that he said he used to take his ex-wife out with the trips. Now that wasn't non-sexual, that was a family thing. But we act like Will wasn't out, had a whole relationship and had different women that he was with because they were separated. So she's doing a promo tour for her book. So she should not tell what happened in life because it make a man or these men feel a certain type of way. It seems like a shut up and dribble, but for Jada to shut up and act instead of shut up and dribble, or shut up and stand behind Will. Y'all blame Jada for the Chris Rock slap because she didn't laugh at the joke, but then we did initially. She sent him. Oh, she didn't laugh at the joke, and Will laughed at the joke. So everybody's like, oh, see, Will was laughing until she didn't laugh. And so she the one, because Will seen her reaction, that made him go slap Chris. So don't get me wrong. As I feel like you shouldn't put your hands on anyone, Oh, the words a joke. Yeah, I understand. Will got mad, and he was standing up. He thought he was protecting his wife. When you keep my wife's name out your mouth, but somehow that was still blamed on Jada. How do Jada take the responsibility for Will going up there and slapping the holy out of Chris? Okay, because then we come to find out that Jada and Will wasn't even together. She didn't even know what was going on. She looked over and asked him, "You all right?" This is the interview that she recently gave. It's probably in her book as well. But she looked over and asked him, "You okay? Like, what's this about? Keep my wife's name." She was like, he hadn't called me wife in years. It'd been a long time that they had been separated. So the reason he's like, keep my wife's name out your, she was like, oh shoot, he talking about me. I'm his wife. She didn't expect it, but somehow people managed to still blame her for something that she had absolutely nothing to do with. Now then it comes out that that Chris Rock had it was rumored around back in the day that Jada and Will had split up. And so Chris Rock called Jada and like, hey, I wanted to know if I could take you out. And she was like, what? He's like, yeah, I heard you and Will been separated, and I wanted to know if I could take you out. Now, of course, she said no because her and Will was together. So now, you don't think Will had this in his mind? Because when the Chris Rock slap came out, people had had brought up different videos, different jokes or whatever that Chris Rock had already did about Jada. I said, you don't feel like besides Chris Rock was being a boy, the little boy up in elementary school, if a boy like you, he gonna hit you. He gonna keep messing with you. So, and you see years of Chris Rock making the jokes about Will or about Jada, about Will and Jada, or just about Jada. And you don't think Jada went back and told Will that Chris Rock had asked her out on a date? And so all these years that this has been happening, he Will over there like, yeah, because I know you try to talk to my girl. Yeah. He probably got this at the back of his mind. And him and Jada ain't on good terms, but once he done said it right there, that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. And he wanted to get some revenge because they separated now at this point. He don't know if Chris Rock then slid in her DMs down or what. What'd you say? Carrie Steph and Superhead have a story. She should have kept it to herself. Kim Kardashian have a story we don't care about. But they all talking. They all got their books. They all have the right to talk and tell their story. But and even for Kim Kardashian and Carrie, you don't see this vitriol for them that you see. And she is a whole video vixen. Her whole sex life, everything out there on the internet. Who did she did it with? Who? And you don't see this vitriol of negativity for these two women that you see for Jada. Okay, so now we hear they go with the slap with the Chris Rock slap. Now Tommy Davidson just gave an interview with Club Shay Shay, and he said back when he filmed Woo with Jada, Will aggressively confronted him. So I'm like, is that also her fault? So we don't see the pattern. We still just gonna blame Jada. We don't see this pattern that happens. So Manu, this interview is for Tommy Davidson. Nobody asked him about the Oscar slap and Will being aggressive. He's just giving an interview about things that didn't happen in his life. And the Oscar slap wasn't even a question that came up. He brought it up. Yet, have you seen anyone on social media telling Tommy, we didn't ask you for this information? Why is he steady talking? You don't see that. So he starts and he says, well, to confront he said the Tommy Davis story said he comes in to confront that Will came in to confront Tommy. Said Tommy is sitting. Let me see if I can pull it up because I don't have much time. Let me see. Club Shay Shay. Tommy Davidson. Let me see real quick if I can pull this interview up for y'all. When he tells the story of how Will came in to confront him, and Jada was the one trying to calm down, calm him down. Will, y'all stop that type of thing. Okay. Let's see. I got it up, y'all. I better go to it really quick. Let's see.
We're saying about Jim, right? That's when I realized, that this wasn't about as much.
Right.
Me and Will had a run in.
Yeah, Carl, you try.
Yeah.
Try to put his wife in a lip lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was not a question being asked about Will, but do you see Tommy is able to talk and to express, and the internet didn't go and fight nobody. Why y'all keep bringing up the Oscar slap? Nobody asked him about the Oscar slap. What? That y'all didn't bring that down on Tommy. Tommy is a male who's allowed to tell his story and tell his life experience, whereas Jada is like, shut up. You're embarrassing yourself about telling your story and what happens to you. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how They feel. And do you notice, Gino, everybody that you mentioned that you say have a story besides right here when you say Offset, everybody else you mentioned was a woman that you said we don't need to hear their story. Then don't listen to it. It's simple. But to feel like she don't have the right to tell her story, that's asinine. That's completely stupid. That's ridiculous. That you have a story, but you don't have the right to tell it. We don't need to hear it. Then don't. It's social media. Click off of it. But everybody coming down at this woman as if she's doing something wrong about telling what she's been through. It's her story to tell. If she wants to tell it, she can tell it. That's what's being the part of, what's being born in the U.S., the right to speak. And we in the third world countries, we ain't got the, could only speak so much or only could say so much on the news and in the media. No, that's part of the U.S. And then what they say, like everybody got a booty hole. Opinions like a booty hole. Everybody got one. And she's telling hers.
He was doing.
Right.
So I was like, come on, man. I mean, well, what you talking about? I always know to play it off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's tone.
Well, I'm sitting down.
So, hold on. This was 15 years later? Or was it?
No, this was then. And then I didn't find out why.
Right. Okay.
I was asking him why then, but he wouldn't say nothing.
Right.
Right. And I'm going, what's going on, man? Tell me what's happening, man. And since he was standing and I was sitting, I was a real nice fella. I mean, that's about physics. Right. So I'm like, oh, man, what's going on, man? I mean, hey, man. He's like, I don't appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And Jada's going, Will, I'm saying, but I mean, what's happening, man? Now you tell me what's happening. You know when a dude does this.
He bite his bottom lip. He about to do something bad.
He might do something, right? So I'm like, I did the whole, you remember the snake?
Yeah.
I did the snake. Well, what, and got up.
Right.
And then I was like, so what are you talking about, man? And I was still in that posture.
So you didn't really know what he was actually talking about?
I didn't, but I know what he was doing.
Right.
So I was like, come on, man. I mean, what's up? Just tell me what's up.
Right.
Yeah, you know what's up. So finally I just said, this is a small place and people are here. We should talk about it.
Right.
Me and you outside, because it looked like you could need to get something off your chest, right? And then Jada was like, oh, no, y'all. No, y'all. And I was like, what do you mean, nah, y'all? Tell him. Tell him. And that was the end of that.
Right.
You see?
Right.
And I never knew. It wasn't until my book came out years later where I counted that as one of the things that really bothered me and hurt me bad because I didn't.
Yeah. Tommy Davidson have a book. He's telling his story. Have you seen those headlines? Have you seen the negativity on Twitter? Have you seen anything about how he needs to shut up? No. You haven't. So he does the interview. So the story starts. He comes in, he confronts Tommy. And as you heard, when Tommy's explaining the story, that Tommy is sitting down, Wendy's standing over him. Jada is the one trying to de-escalate the situation, but yet we're saying Jada is the toxic one. Now again, Willa is confronting a much smaller guy. Even back then, Will have always had height, but back then Will was skinny. He didn't have that much muscles. But compared to Tommy Davidson, Will was taller than him and younger than Tommy, but he's confronting him because of the man doing his job. He ended up saying that they believe it was about a kiss that him and Jada had to do on Wu. But Will confronts him while he's sitting down. He tell him, but when Tommy tell him, let's take it outside, they don't. So that's it. He tell him when he confront Tommy, he's like, let's take, and Tommy's like, hey, all right, now let's take this outside. Will don't take that outside, dude. No, he said this gives it gives me the idea of like the bully at school who father is always beating him up, so he come to school and beat up the small kids. That's what had to me that gave me that sense of personality that Will had going on from him, the confronting of Tommy and the slapping of Chris Rock. These are two men who are not your equal when it comes to strength. When it comes to physical size, they're not your equal. But these are the ones that you have confronted and one you have assaulted. So Tommy said he didn't know why when Will was upset until he wrote his book. So I'm like, wait a minute. So Tommy wrote a book, and I'm quite sure he did his promo tour when he was talking about everything. But in this incident was in the book. So we ain't saying how that he's embarrassing Will, yet Jada talk about her experiences embarrassing Will. So Tommy put the incident in the book because he wanted to be honest about his experiences. Also, Will wrote a book. Quite sure he did a promotion tour, but and I haven't read his book yet. I'm gonna get to reading his book, and I want to read Jada book. I started on hers. I want to read Will book because I feel like it should be fair. That shouldn't just take Jada book and what she said and not read Will's. So okay. So Jada book. So it's this YouTube video. This guy talking about how Jada made Will feel like he wasn't enough and that he cussed him to slap. So this is a YouTube video. Let me see if I can pull it up. A YouTube video where this guy's talking about Jada made Will feel like he wasn't enough, which is the reason why he slapped Chris. Jada made him feel like he could never live up to the Tupac, and how when he spent all his time planning Jada's 40th birthday, and it wasn't enough for Jada. So Jada is just selfish, and Will was just always trying to make her happy. Now, in Will's own words, he said he realized he wasn't doing the 40th birthday for Jada. He was doing it for himself. Even after he says this, it is somehow used against Jada. So let me see. What video is that? I like to pause up the videos to have the proof about, you know what video is that? That's also on the Facebook Red Table Talk episode. And they have videos where the family was together, and it was Willow, Gammy, Jada, and Will that they did a video together. And I want to say, is it Red Table Talk number 1? Let me see if I can find that video and pull it up for y'all, because then it'll be like I'm just making up stuff, and that ain't right what Will said. Is this Family Ties Family Ties episode? Let's see. Yeah, I better try to pull it up.
And cried 45 days straight. I started keeping a diary.
Damn. You missed some days.
No, this is like
It was every morning.
20.
I think that's
Our unique union. I thought I had it queued up so they can see it.
Last time at the Red Table, Will and I shared some.
caused me was the pain I needed to survive.
No, this is taking too long to load, yeah. So I'll just read off what he ended up saying. Because they end up talking about on the Red Table Talk. So it's like you see videos of people going out saying, "Oh, you see how grateful Jada is to Will and how she demasculate him. He spent 3 years.
So, I didn't know that.
I was like,
his birthday party for
I'm
Jada."
parenting the hell out these kids. Like, we are cute.
He spent 3 years planning his birthday party for Jada. She don't even appreciate it. You see how ungrateful? Yeah. That's what I was asking. That's why I said I'm gonna see what she have done to embarrass the family in public from just telling her life experience. She's talking about her everybody with the she's talking about Tupac. She have said it have been said everywhere that there was never a relationship between her and Tupac. They was friends. So you mean to tell me if one of your friends passed that you're not gonna there's so many videos of people with their friend that passed and they got the video up, they do memorial. You talk about it, you share stories that y'all done been through. So I don't understand how is that Will ain't enough. She's making Will feel like he ain't enough because she's steady bringing up Tupac. Tupac was her ex-boyfriend. So it says around, even after she says this, so there's videos about how Jada is ungrateful because she did not want the 40th birthday party. And she didn't want the 40th birthday party, and Will had planned it for all these years and took all this time doing it, and she didn't want it. But Will said he realized that he did not plan this party for her. He had did it for himself. And he just showing different examples. Hey, Haley, y'all hear my dog up and down. The cat walked past. The dog is over there. Now, how dare she walk past me like that? I think the cat did say hi. So, even after that, they somehow used that against Jada. Even after Will come and say, "No, she was right. I was doing it for myself." It's still Jada's blame for how grateful he is. He says now that the house wasn't for Jada. There was this house he went and bought and called it her river or something like that they talk about, and he, big expensive house, and Jada didn't want the house. So it's Jada's ungrateful and she don't appreciate nothing that he do. And even he said, well, yeah, I realized I didn't buy that house from her because if he was doing it for her, it ain't something that I did it for myself, because in my mind that's the picture of the house that somebody of my status should have. It says Will says that Jada sacrificed her life to fit his picture, yet Jada still had somehow the toxic one in a relationship. He said not only didn't he not understand his wife, he did not care about her feelings. So at the age of 9, Willow at the age of 9 told Will that she's sorry that the picture of the family that he had in his head is not the family that he have. She's like, I'm sorry, Daddy. You got this picture of this family and it ain't us. I'm trying to see, because I'm just reading off what it said. I was trying to show y'all what it says on here, but I somehow managed to pull up the wrong doggone video.
And full will.
Yeah. And you were trapped in a life that you didn't build,
that you didn't want. And that I didn't want, but that I had to come to the understanding that I allowed myself to have. You accepted all of that because of your fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the truth.
Fear of...
Just fear of not wanting to rock the boat. I had kids, and just wanting to, because he's a force to be reckoned with. It's just a lot of stuff you let.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Our relationship is good.
And I would say to him, I would go, Will, throw away everything that's happening in the outside world. Your career, everything. And it's just me and you on an island.
Damn.
What do we have?
And I was like, we have the island. We own the island.
You know what I mean?
Right. And it was like, I so didn't comprehend that. So me and you on an island, what do we have? Not only did I not understand, I didn't care.
Right.
I was unaware of what it meant to truly connect with somebody.
I'd been trying to live up to an expectation for Will.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
you were
He wasn't
trapped
there trying to
in a
bother
life
people.
that you didn't build,
that I didn't
that you
build,
didn't want.
and that I didn't want, but that I had to come to the understanding that I allowed myself to have. You accepted all of that because of your fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the truth.
Fear of
Just fear
So we
of
go to this,
not wanting to rock the boat. I had kids,
Yeah.
you know, and just wanting to.
hopefully y'all let me get to it. I need to get on up out of here.
Last time at the red table, Will and I shared some very good conversation.
What was your hardest time in our marriage?
So this is
I
what she
think
talked about
the
the birthday
turning
party.
point in our relationship for me happened when I turned 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I had a midlife crisis.
Yeah, your 40th birthday was my low point. The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I had hired a documentary team. I traced Mommy's family roots. Her 40th birthday was going to be my thing.
It was going to be a splash.
It was going to be a splash. Mary J.
Definitely was a
Blige.
splash.
Mary J. Blige
Hey.
performed. I debuted the film, all of that. It was going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis. And it was going to be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love. And we did it. And I had found tapes of Jada's grandmother and her.
And so to me, I feel like he's gonna finish describe the birthday party and everything that he did that went into it. But I feel like that Jada have been in this relationship where they both have said they both had agreed that Will wanted things a certain way and he didn't care about, you know, the other people's feelings, and he explains it was all things that he experienced like growing up, and that's the way he was raised, and he didn't see the issue with it. And I'm quite sure Jada had her problems, but it seems like that she's now, I don't know if y'all have any friends that have been in the closet and then they come out and they just like, and you can't get them to stop talking. It felt like she's one of those people who kept things in and went along and wrote along with things because that's what she was doing at that time. She didn't have her voice to speak and say what she wanted to say. And now that she's finding it, and now that she's finding her voice, or she's been more vocal, or she said no to things, or she's speaking up for herself, that everybody's telling her, girl, shut up. Don't nobody want to hear that. And like, I know that's very daunting to her, and I could understand why she's steady talking. And it don't care who wants her to shut up when it's her story to tell. She has the right to tell her story. And when you finally find your voice after you've been quiet so long, you don't care who wants you to shut up. You're going to keep talking because that's a form of therapy. It's a form of release. You done kept so much stuff in for so long that you just like, it's just a overflow of everything and another thing, then another thing. And let me tell you this. So, and I feel like, I haven't read the book yet, y'all. I got it on Audible, so I'm gonna do it that way because, you know, with my life, I don't have the time right now to sit there and read the book. I don't even know when the last book I didn't even actually bought and read. But you know, yeah, life happens. Once you're working, you got these kids, and my kids are in every doggone thing. Today my busy day, so I have to go ahead and finish and get on up out of here. But she describes the birthday party, and he ended up saying that, you know, Jada was right, that he didn't do this for her. He did it for himself.
Thoroughly now. At the time, I didn't. But she's listening to these never before heard tapes of one of the dearest people she's ever known in her life in front of all of these people. So she's holding it together. She's getting it together. Then I have Mary J. Blige performing. The whole time I'm like, the little boy that wants mommy to say everything was wonderful, right? And she's having a really difficult emotional time. And then when we got back to the room, it was me, you, and mommy, and we were talking about the next day, and there were things planned for the next day, and she said, I'm not sure I want to do anything the next day. You can just cancel it. And I said, well, let's keep it, and then tomorrow you can decide. She was like, I'm telling you now, I don't want to do anything tomorrow. And I said, well, it's okay. We'll just wait and see.
I just wanted to have intimate
Just
time.
intimate time. And I was like, well, I'll cancel tomorrow. She was like, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Right? And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego.
Woo.
Crushed, right? And this day I know I was crushed because it was true.
Yeah.
It wasn't a party for her.
Yeah.
And when she called me on that, that's when I snapped. And I'm sorry, that was the only time you ever heard me snap.
And I do actually like the way they get along.
And
the
just
way
realizing
they express
this
themselves.
next 40, I got to do it my way. This next half has to be directed by my picture for myself.
I have to say that when you guys were going through that transition, I was like, what the heck?
Right.
Because everything was just changing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know there was a need for change.
There was so much that wasn't me that I was living.
Yeah.
So much inauthenticity. I do think that there are a lot more people living lives that aren't true
Aren't true. That is
to
so
them
painful.
because of their fear. So I understand, and there's no judgment.
So that was just a clipping of her saying that, you know, after that 40 that didn't happen, that she came in and just like, okay, I can understand why now she's starting to talk more and speak up for herself and tell her story, because she spent so much time of her life not doing that. Okay, so because as a man, I would never do that. Will would do for a woman, but in my YouTube Simple Days, he lights up in emotion and he portrays. I understand how he feel. I used to feel that way. I remember what I felt to do everything to please a woman, make her happy. Yes, it's for you because you love pleasing your woman, because you feel so honored that she is with you. But that's not what Will was saying. He wasn't, and he says it in there, he wasn't doing it to please Jada, to make Jada happy. He was doing it because this is the picture that he had pictured, and that's what he wanted the outside world and everybody else to view him as. It wasn't about Jada. It wasn't about the kids. It wasn't about making them happy. It wasn't even about making himself happy. It was about portraying this picture that he wants the outside world to do. And he had that personality, and where Jada was the complete opposite, where she don't really care about what the outside people and the material and the houses and things of that nature. She rather do with, she more of a feelings type of person. And it was clashing. So in her saying that, oh, well, you know, that's not the party that I wanted. That's the party that he wanted. He put on that party for him because that's what he felt like that somebody of his stature would do for his. It wasn't about making Jada happy. It wasn't about doing everything to make Jada happy. It was about a picture he wanted to portray to the world. And he says it. So when a man is a simp, you want to show grand gesture to a woman, you have to be hurt to your core to become hard, to where you no longer care about a woman's happiness. Well, I'm sorry that you didn't get hurt like that, but most women don't consider it. Good women don't consider a man a simp for doing things and trying to make your partner happy, because a good woman is also doing the same thing for her partner. She's also out here trying to do everything to make him happy. That's what you do when you're in a relationship. You do things to make each other happy. So I'm sorry that that's your experience, and those are the type of women that you didn't ran across or didn't dealt with. But no, that's not the way a relationship should be, and you shouldn't harden your heart. And I know it's easier said than done, but you shouldn't harden your heart towards the next person, because why are you making that next woman pay for this woman mistake, or however many women before that didn't hurt you? There's no guarantee that the next person will treat you the same way. But, you know, I understand I'm married now, but I understand that dating world is, and it's people in general. I shouldn't even say a man or a woman, because you're going to run across it at either sex. People in general has their ways about them, you know, so, and hopefully you wind up being with somebody who's not. But she said it's a display of me saying no. That's what she was saying in this video. After that, she was like, it was like the first time of me saying no. So, which means up until then, she was letting Will, do the things that he wanted to do. Because as I said previously, Will had said he realized that Jada sacrificed what she wanted to do in order to give him this perfect picture. So it's like the first time she says no, he explodes. And now even when she's even now the world is trying to use that against her. Again, I feel like it's a shut up and dribble. When a woman is finally standing up for herself, she says no, and the world make it seem like it's a bad thing. So Stephen A. Smith do his commentary on Jada, y'all. So he starts saying how, and this is the part that I'm like, if I haven't, even Stephen A. Smith commentary, he didn't use examples. So, I'm like, where is all these examples that these people are talking about? Because I don't see the example of it. And they're not giving examples when they're talking about what Jada have done to Will. And I'm like, if y'all can give me the examples out here so I can look it up so I can understand. I'm like, maybe it's something I'm missing because everybody's saying it, but I don't see any receipts for it. Let's go to this. I gotta listen to all this because y'all know Steven. If y'all didn't watch Steven before, y'all know Steven, he can talk, baby.
And lost to an Arizona Diamondbacks team that only had 84 wins and scored 160 fewer runs this season. They got swept.
This is not.
Broomsticks got out. Mookie Betts.
This is not the video, yeah. I think
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, this is it.
And she's making news because she's out on the 1997. For better and worse, through rich, through poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part. It wasn't just talking about staying married. It talked about honoring those vows, at least to some degree. Where's all that? Stephen A., what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Well, let us count the ways. Jada Pinkett Smith.
Like the serious tone he didn't get.
What's the dude's name? August? What the hell is his name? I don't know who he is. I know he was the friend of your son, who's 21 years younger than you. What you do is your business. Any women out there that wants to be a cougar?
Not a cougar.
With a dude of legal age, that is your business. But the operative words are your business. Did you have to go and tell everybody?
See.
Go ahead and do it.
And see, and that's what I'm talking about. How are we blaming Jada for going to tell everybody about August? Jada didn't do that. August did. So it's like first it's with August. Stephen A. Smith, he's on his he's going through and telling how Jada disrespected or embarrassed or whatever Will. So the first thing he says is it's with August, which is why they broken up and Will broke up with her. Will broke up with Jada. You go to all the previous interviews, that first Red Table Talk, he says, I broke up with her. I felt like I was done with her. So they was broken up. So Jada didn't come out and tell this story. August did. So Stevens rants for about 4 minutes about this, about the August thing, and going on the Red Table Talk to discuss this. But on the Red Table Talk, Jada and Will both said, both of them said they wanted to come and discuss it. And after it was August, and that was after August had already went out in public and said this. But I'm like, but the Red Table Talk is her somehow demasculating Will. She took in that the world. So this is the. Let's see. Yeah, there you have to get on up out of here.
To deal with, but I know you're a wonderful actress and comedian, and I wish you nothing but the best. But I digress. Jada, what's it gonna take? You went on Red Table Talk talking about an entanglement. Why? If I remember correctly, you once said that you didn't enjoy making love to your husband anymore. Why? Why?
And I tried to find that where she said she didn't enjoy it. If y'all know where it's at, let me know. I tried to find it, did not find it. I found the complete opposite, where she was saying that her and Will party problem have never been in the bedroom. Where Will went on Oprah and talked about the amount and how good the sex is that he have with his wife, with Jada. So I'm like, I don't know when this happened. I'm assuming that it was a episode where she brought Gwyneth Paltrow on her Red Table Talk, and the only thing that she says, you would think that your partner would, because they know you, would know what you want in the bedroom, but sometimes it's not always like that. You have to tell them what you want. And I said that's the closest I could find to that. But yet the narrative is that she didn't say that Will don't please her in the bedroom. I don't know where that's at. But if y'all know, let me know.
You groove on with somebody else and you're fulfilled. Why worry about what he's not doing? If you have been separated for 7 years, why talk about what you think or what he did do? You were separated, right? Why? Why? He's Will Smith. By the way, Will, I just finished watching Focus the other day. Love that movie again with you and Margot Robbie. I love that movie. I can't even tell you how many times I watched Hitch. Because Eva Mendes, Lord have mercy. Oh my God, I'm just trying not to get distracted. I'm just looking at a whole bunch of stuff. This is Will Smith. iRobot. I've seen it about 20 times.
Okay. So and when he said, let me count the ways, he actually had 2 ways, which was the Red Table Talk and Jada coming on Red Table Talk to publicly embarrass her husband and how she didn't have to do that and why. But Jada ain't the one who did it. August is the one who did it. August is the one who came out and told everybody about his affair with Jada. Jada came to the Red Table Talk to discuss it because August had told everybody, so she addressed it. Then there was one more thing that he said. It was the August Asina, and then do I agree with her mess with? No, not with the son. Now you older, you can mess with whoever you want, but the son friend, yeah, that's the one thing I'd be like, yeah, everybody right when they say that. That's one thing I do agree with. Now, so she took the world saying she cheated, only for everyone to find out that they were separated. Yet people are still using it against them. And he's telling her, why did you come to this Red Table Talk to embarrass your husband? According to them, according to Jada, and we'll have to deny this, Will wasn't even supposed to do the Red Table Talk. She was going to do the Red Table Talk by herself to address the issue that August had brought out. Will decided to come on and address it with her. And doing that Red Table Talk, she was supposed to tell the world that, hey, we separated, we're not together. Will said no. Let me see. I'll show. This is a interview that she did recently, a couple of days ago, and it's on. The whole interview is almost 2 hours, and it's on YouTube. So I'm not gonna go through that whole interview.
But Will decided he wanted to come with me, and we were going to then tell the world, hey, we haven't been to play because we were living lives as single people. And the world didn't know. Over the span of 12 years of just trying to figure out this thing called love and marriage between Will and I, it's been a trip. And I think that even with that entanglement piece, which I talk about extensively in the book, how I played a part in the misconception of that narrative of allowing myself to be portrayed as an adulteress, allowing myself to be portrayed as someone that had betrayed Will. And that wasn't the case. We broke up in 2016. He went on to live a life as a single man. I went on to live a life as a single woman. And then when we had the talk at the Red Table, I was going to go to the red table by myself to talk about the entanglement. But Will decided he wanted to come with me. And we were going to then tell the world, hey, we haven't been together. And this happened during that time. Well, when we got to the table, Will wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for the world to know that. I had to respect that. Well, I didn't have to, but I wanted to. But I was ready. I was ready to let go of the persona I had created around.
And like I said, so yeah, that whole interview is 2 hours. But as I was saying, so she was ready to tell the world. Now she went and had the whole world calling her this cheater, this whore, this, everything that they called her for her entanglement, right? But she was ready to come out and tell the world, but she did not, out of respect for her husband, because her husband was not ready to go out and tell. So that was another episode of her being quiet and getting torn down all on social media, all because her husband was not ready to tell people. So I'm like, how again is Jada this toxic one when she didn't took this, what do you call it? Tearing her down, then took mentor down, and she was ready to come out and tell the truth. And because now the narrative is, and Jada was over here lying, and they haven't been together since blah blah blah. She's been ready to tell y'all truth, and Will didn't want to, so she chose to stand by her husband in the choice that he made, and to not say it. So people told Jada about how she treated Will on that red table talk and go and said that she had him looking soft and weak and crying. Yet she stayed quiet because she wasn't ready, because Will wasn't ready. And yet we still call her the toxic one, and how she don't care about her husband and how she's embarrassing her husband. So then Jada, let's see, toxic, how she don't care her. So Jay interviews Jada and just says no, that he was not betrayed. So in the interview, Jada says, we'll know he was not betrayed, and my kids know, and I didn't want to portray their father. And if and I'm saying, so if that ain't sticking about your husband's side, I don't know what is. And even at this point, they wasn't even together. They were separated. But still, that's what Will wanted, so that's what she did. Even though a world viewed it as him being stupid and sticking with Jada, even though she cheated. But I bet this will be used as another example of a black woman not knowing how to be submissive to a black man. Even though she was the one being told down, she was submissive. I said, but this rhetoric that's out there, I'm like, I just don't see the point. Like I said, the first point was that Stephen A. Smith made about Jada disrespecting and embarrassing her man, was her making the affair public and telling everybody. But we know that wasn't Jada, that was August. The second thing that he said Jada did was that she told people that she don't enjoy making love to her husband. So I couldn't find that information. So now I go rewatch Red Table Talk episode I'll go and watch the episode, and I don't remember her saying that. So Jada is talking about women being accountable. She goes in the episode with Gwyneth Paltrow, where they are talking about sex and having sex with your partner. She says that women being accountable and communication with your partner, just don't expect them to know. And this is the clip that people is using, saying that she said that Will wasn't sexually satisfying her. And so Stephen said you can't publicly emasculate your man and think things are going to work out. But the examples he gave there was no examples of Jada publicly emasculating Will, because the examples he gave was not true. Coming out publicly with August, August did, saying that Will didn't please her. I can't find her saying that. So I don't understand this vitriol that he had going in on Jada, and you give two examples and neither one of them are true. So there's nothing you can say to a man to justify what you have done to Will, but yet he haven't told us. But he haven't told her. This is what Stephen A. Smith said, and she said he blames Jada for messing up all men's man. because of what she did to Will. And all these men got to watch her do this to Will. Now, Jada done messed up the whole men, all the men mad in the world. I said, Lord have mercy. I didn't know Jada had that much goddamn power. And that's rhetoric. It's just the same rhetoric that that most people are now having against Jada, but nobody have even this video was 30 minutes. He have not gave a factual example of something that she did to emasculate or to embarrass Will. It may be embarrassing that it got out about the affair, but Jada ain't the one who brought it out. It's embarrassing that people know, and it wasn't a affair. They was legally separated. But I mean, once you're married, you still my personal life. No, I don't agree with it. But that's not my personal life. They're taking it as if they both were separated. They both were single. They both was dating. We'll just have more control over his girls. Hey, don't y'all say nothing in between us. Don't y'all go do no interviews. He had control over the people he was with. Once Jada broke up with that boy. And he did say, because if I'm not mistaken, he did go on Red Table Talk, and this is what Gino was talking about. That he did go on Red Table Talk, that he was dealing with mental issues, and he also had some type of health issues that he was dealing with. And then, if I'm not mistaken, because this is all coming from memory, that he had lost his sister and had took over custody of his nieces. So I don't know at what time that happened, but I know he was going through personal issues, and Jada was there to help him, and then did she end up having this affair with him? So I believe that would go more into what Jada, the type of behavior in August and issues that August could validly have about Jada. But how is this the narrative that's being spun now is Jada with Will? How does that play into Jada embarrassing or demasculating Will? It doesn't. They had an open marriage. We thought they were swinging like T.I. and Tiny, but she had sex with a 23-year-old boy in her 50s and a boy who had mental vulnerability. He's special needs. I used Jada and Will and other men never to marry on my platform. I use them as a case study. Well, I mean, if that's what you want to do, and if that's what your men believe in, good luck to them. There's plenty of. I'm not going to go into the reason you're a man, so you talk to your man about what you want to talk to your man about. That is not advice that I would ever give anybody to not marry. And actually, when Will talked about the reason why since he was 6, wanted to get married, and if you look at it and do the statistic, men who marry live longer. Men who marry are more successful. Look at the billionaires, the millionaires in the world. They're all married. That's because there's something about, whether it's a woman or whatever, but having a supportive spouse or a supportive friend, a supportive partner in your life that's gonna, take care of things in the house, take care of your kids, who's gonna be there, when y'all communicate, because every marriage don't work out. That's why the divorce rate is so high. But but when you do find that special thing, yes, it propels you forward. It propels you to be more successful. It's just finding the right person. In my case, the way I look at it, it's finding the right person. And so sometimes you do look up, sometimes you don't. But to harden your heart and be hard to the rest of the world, the rest of the women, or women been hard to men because of some past that you done went through. All that's doing is just pretty much guaranteeing you that you're not gonna have a successful relationship, and it'll be your fault, not that person's. But hey, I have watched the lead attorney, and he have talked about what he. One thing that I will agree with the lead attorney on, because I do watch him here and there, that when he give his advice to the men about marriage, and it's one thing that I did not know, and I talked to my husband about, that most men, like women, we got women friends. We go talk, we could vent, we can, we could get it out, but they said that the taking their own life is higher in men once they get a divorce, because they don't, typically when you get a divorce, people pick sides of who they're gonna go to. And if it's the couple, usually them friends come from the wife, so the friends go back with the wife, and then men don't have friends that they talk to. And I'm like, well, that means y'all men need to communicate more. Go get you some friends, vent, let it out. Y'all don't have to keep all that in bottled up. Let it out. Okay, it's okay. Talk, express yourself. Women love to hear men talk, to hear your heart, to hear what's on your mind, to see what you're actually going through, y'all. But and you still haven't gave me, Gino, you still haven't gave me an example of what she did. What she did to Will, that's embarrassing him, that's demasculating him, that we're blaming her for the Oscar slap. We're blaming her that she's not allowed to tell her story, just like all these men that told their story. Tommy Davis that wrote a book, told his story. Will Smith wrote a book, told his story. Who's the other one? Well, with Chris Rock, he did a special. He talked about it. He said what he had to say about the slap. But there's been documentaries on Tupac, and he said what he had to say. But somehow Jada's not allowed to. I don't make it. Give me the reason why she's not allowed to talk and tell her story, because there haven't been one. Give me the examples where she's, besides the August I've seen of which she did not publicly come out with, that he did. But besides that instance, what is she doing that's demasculating with, that she's always embarrassing Will, that she's making Will life this living hellhole, that y'all making this woman seem like this, that she's the wicked witch of the East, okay? So I haven't seen those examples. Now, if you got to make the examples, let me know. And this is Gino with giving examples of the people in his family. I said to statistically, you're giving me this case of what, 4 people statistically. That's millions. Look it up. Just I'm giving you numbers. Look it up. See if it's true or not. See if I'm over here just rambling. So y'all finna get on out of here. I got to go ahead and finish my day. All right. Y'all don't forget, like the video, comment. You could comment on, if you're in the replay, go ahead, comment. I get in them comments with y'all too. But I have to get on out of here, go get my babies, okay? I'll be back. We're gonna talk about next, whatever is the next subject trending. And I'll be back. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Bye.